mean,
judging.
I think it was 3-2 Islam. Even if it's 4-1 Islam, like you're saying, that's the rounds weren't dominations by Islam by any means. Like
Right,
no
it was
10-8
close.
rounds, really? That I
No, it was definitely close.
yeah.
Okay, well that should be Islam then. 49-40.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
What,
but dude,
dude,
two judges
Volk should
agreed,
not be
48,
surprised that he
47.
lost that fight though. It
No,
was
Volk
an
shouldn't be surprised.
extremely good showing. Like he's
It was a
literally done the
great
best.
showing. Honestly, like that helps Volk's eventual GOAT case in my mind. That was a beautiful fight. A beautiful fight by Volk.
Yeah.
It finished very
I mean,
strong.
dude, it's weird
There's
though
nothing
because it's
wrong with
like
that performance. Nothing wrong with that performance.
his grappling was so good. And like
Grappling was incredible in this fight, dude.
him being
I mean,
physical was really good, but it's just like
he really lost the fight via striking. The
I know
grappling was
that's what I'm saying.
incredible
I'm
in
like,
this
what?
fight. I mean,
Like, what does that say about Islam though? And what does it say about Volk? It's like
it's like I
Islam's
feel like both fighters were training the 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 skills they needed to be like to train
I
their
know.
weaknesses, and
And
they
then
like
they like
overtrained their weaknesses and forgot
and then
about their strengths.
undertrained their strengths.
That's like it's weird. It's crazy though.
Like there's I'm like simultaneously higher on both fighters and less high on them because I'm like, okay, maybe Islam's
To be honest,
wrestling isn't as good.
I'm a little less high on Islam after that fight. I really even
No,
earlier before that last scramble, he was losing scrambles and Volk was getting separations. Like
right.
that shouldn't be. I just don't think that should be happening when you're outweighing your opponent by about 20 pounds.
Dude, okay, we don't know how much he always is. How much he always.
Dude, they said both of them said what they planned to weigh in the cage. Okay, I'm just going off of what they
True.
said.
Okay, what did they say then?
I forget the exact numbers. The difference was 20 pounds.
Wait, what?
The difference was 20
No,
pounds.
what is Bisping saying?
I don't know.
I mean, you can't even deny Islam is the best fighter in the world.
He is. To be honest, though, I think Volk should still be pound for pound number one. But I know,
He
like they
literally
put
got
it up on the
outstruck
line.
though. Like
So he literally out grappled
I
Islam.
know, but the
Like,
out grappling wasn't worth enough to win the fight. Like
I'm not saying he won the fight. I'm saying a close fight between Volk and Islam
this
should
wasn't
favor
close.
Volkanovski pound for pound because he's
This
coming
was
in so much
49
lighter.
46, 47 48.
47-48. 2 47-48. That's a close fight. 49. Like that's a close fight, dude.
It's
You
a
can't
close
tell me
fight.
otherwise.
Dude, Volkanovski was like won that fifth round with one punch. If that punch didn't land, he would have lost that.
What, dude? Come on! He landed so many good shots in that ground and pound.
Yeah,
It
with the
wasn't just
ground
that
and
one
pound.
punch.
I'm saying one strike led to that ground and pound. There's one shot that dropped
What do you
Islam.
mean? Wait, in the last thing?
In the
What do you
last
mean?
round, he dropped Islam
Yeah.
with one punch, and then that won him the round.
This
If
is
that
like
punch,
saying, oh, there was one step out of place that got Islam a takedown that
he
won
was
him round.
losing the majority
like-
of that round. It's like the Leon Edwards head kick, right? It's like when you go back to that fight, who do
He
you think's
handily
gonna
won
win?
that.
Usman or Leon Edwards?
I don't understand. I really don't understand. Like he handily won that round. I don't care about what could have or would have happened. He handily won that round. I thought he won round 3. The other rounds were like not dominations. And he's the lighter guy. Like the threshold that Islam has to prove in this fight is higher than Volk when we're talking about pound for pound.
If Volk had Islam's weight, he'd flog. I mean, if we're
Whatever.
talking
They
about
put up the
pound for pound, like they literally
They put up the pound for pound status on this fight, so it's fine. But I'm just saying.
is he swearing or something? Yeah, whatever. Like if he wants to move back up, the thing is, like Volkanovski's Yeah,
I think this was a great outcome in that Volk's proved, hey man,
compete.
he's gave himself the option to move back up again later.
Right. Dude, okay, this is what I'm going to say about this fight. Volkanovski's scrambling impressed me. His cardio impressed me. I'm curious to see the scorecards, though. But his cardio impressed me. The thing that shocked me is, like, he got outstruck by Islam. Like, and it wasn't particularly close.
Huh?
The Volkanovski's cardio impressed me, and his grappling impressed me, and his strength impressed me. But he got
Uh-huh.
cleanly outstruck by Islam, and it wasn't particularly close.
Sure. The strike, no, it wasn't like it was that dominating
Which is why
either.
I don't understand why you think he
It
should
wasn't
still be
like
pound for
super
pound
close.
number one.
He has a much better resume. Given his weight in this fight, he did better than
I mean,
Islam.
he
I
has a
think
better resume when Islam has a win over him on Islam's resume.
yes, that's very possible. That's not like difficult to do, dude. It's very possible to have a better resume than someone that you've lost to.
I mean, it's an
Like
uphill
it's
argument when the guy that beat you
not an
has
uphill
you on
argument.
his resume.
It's really not. It's really not. Volk has way. I mean, Volk just has a much better resume. He has way better high level wins on his resume from even before he got champion, and way more title defenses. So no, I actually don't think that's a big stretch at all.
I don't know, dude. It's like
Like
okay,
I just no,
they're
I,
of
don't know.
course like 3 wins over Max Holloway. That's really good.
This is like saying who was that rando that Kamaru lost to? Is he better than Kamaru? No, like he has a much worse resume than Kamaru,
Was
even
the
though
No, but that's like saying that Leon Edwards should be pound for pound. Like I don't think Leon Edwards should be on the pound for pound list at all. But since he has a
that's
win,
my argument.
no,
That's
but
my
dude, listen
argument.
to
Leon
me.
Edwards just beat Kamaru
Leon
Usman,
Edwards'
but he's
resume,
still lower
dude,
pound for pound.
you're not listening to me. Leon
Okay,
Edwards'
what?
resume isn't pound for pound worthy, but the fact that he beat the number one pound for pound guy does mean
Yeah,
that he deserves a spot on the pound for pound list, right? Like,
sure. Doesn't mean he deserves it. It doesn't mean he deserves to be ahead of Usman. This means
right, I
he
agree
probably
with
deserves to
that.
be on the list.
But I think when you're comparing resumes now, a resume, but when you are,
I
I
know it's
do
not just my
agree
resume.
Volkanovski still probably has a better resume than Islam, but when you're factoring in like the skills of the fighters too, I don't see how you can like say that Volk's resume is so much better than Islam's that he still deserves to be ahead of him on the pound for pound list, especially
Dude,
after
Volk's
just
resume
losing
is
to him.
way better than Islam's.
No,
Islam
it's
has
not way
two
better.
at the same level of Islam has two really good wins on his resume: Oliveira and Volkanovski now. Except
Okay,
Volkanovski at 55 is like
I would say those two
not
wins
that
outweigh
good
a
of a win.
trilogy win over Max Holloway.
Why? 3 wins over Max Holloway? You're saying that
It's the
outweighs?
same
That's
opponent.
insane. Who cares if it's the same? It's 3 wins, dude. Just because it's the same opponent, you
Mm,
can win and lose against a guy at the same level. To have
hold
three
on. We
wins
have
over
chat
someone,
weighing in
that's
on this.
hard to do. It's really hard to do.
Blaze Bradley says if Islam was to fight at featherweight with Volk, I don't think the fight would be as close as Volk fighting upper class to Islam. Oh,
Well, yeah, of course, because Islam
yeah,
would have
that
to cut
doesn't.
an undue amount of weight.
Yeah, like Islam's closer to moving up to welterweight than he is. Oh shit. Islam is closer
If
to moving
Volk
up to
had
welterweight than he is going
if
down to featherweight.
if Volk had Islam's weight, he'd flog him. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, that's like technically, in a sense, what pound for pound's
I
asking.
mean,
I don't even go. I'm not even making that argument though, because in reality, pound for pound's more of a resume contest.
true.
Like, I'm not even making the obvious argument that if you could upsize Volk into Islam's size, he would wreck him.
But dude, are we
Which is
talking
true. That
about
would
a
happen.
reality or are we talking about true pound for pound? Because if it's a reality, then Islam is the number one pound for pound guy. Because in reality, how it always works is you beat someone, you don't necessarily take their spot, but you get put close to them on the list.
He is close to Volk on the list. I think he should be close to Volk on the list. I don't think he should be above Volk on the list.
Okay, but that's not how it's going to work in reality because like he was number 2, he's already close to him, and then he beats him, he's going to be
Well,
number 1.
I'm giving my opinion on what should happen.
So what you think should happen is that pound for pound should be a resume conversation. Purely resume. No politics involved.
I mean, sure, of course, no politics involved, whatever that really means. But
what I mean by that is like it would look.
I don't think
if
it should
the
be a
number
popularity
1 pound
contest.
for pound guy just lost to the number 2 pound for pound guy. That's what I mean by politics.
You think politics is just like a win over someone? That's not politics. That's just like the hard truth.
Okay, it's not politics, but I guess it's like optics, right? Like it would look optically bad if the number 2 pound for pound guy beat the number 1 pound for pound guy while they were both 2-1, and then he's like still number 2. So
it would look optically bad. I mean, I don't know. I think that it's pretty easy to I think it's pretty easy to understand and rationalize because the argument would just be like if Volk were bigger.
And then you see that the guy beat the number 1 guy on his resume.
James. I'm talking optically right now. What most people understand pound for pound as is the original definition, I think, which is like if people were the same weight, who would win? I think most people watching that fight could be convinced that if Volk were the same weight as Islam, same size as Islam, he would win.
Okay, but I also
optically, sure. I think that takes care of that.
When we're talking about like majority of people, they're going to be like, "Oh, Islam just beat Volk. Why is he lower than him?"
Because of what I just said, the majority of people.
But they were the same weight. Like most people aren't going to.
They weren't the same weight. They weren't the same weight. One guy moved up to fight in the same weight class.
Come on, no. In terms of like the fight, like that week, they wait like. That's like saying that weight bullies, like the win over weight bullies getting wins over people in their weight class, like doesn't really count because he just weighs more than him. Like,
right. Come on, I mean, when a guy is literally moving up from a weight class below, it's a different thing than like you're a big guy for your weight
and then
class.
Fought Islam. Like, what is this argument, dude? If he didn't think he could compete,
why does he have to weigh in at featherweight? I think most people could easily be rational. The second thing, dude, aside from the optics point,
this is how weight cutting works.
Okay, the second thing aside from the optics point, is I think the way I see pound for pound is a resume contest. All right.
Okay, fair.
I not only look at the wins that people have over their opponents, also about the quality of wins and the quality of losses. I actually will look at all of that when I look at think about pound for pound.
But I would also
resume-wise, I actually think it's crazy that you think that Islam's resume even comes close to Volk's resume.
Dude, I would agree with you there, but I would also factor in skills.
I factor in skills as well.
Okay, well, you just said Volk had amazing skills, so we have to also look at skills.
I mean, I primarily look at resume.
Okay, fair enough. I think you need to look at resume, but I think
the skills argument favors Volkanovski, to be honest. But okay.
No, I disagree. I don't know.
You lost the striking primarily due to the height disadvantage. He out-scrambled a bigger and heavier opponent consistently, dude, multiple times this fight.
You don't lose striking due to height disadvantages.
You can, of course, it's a factor.
It's a factor, but that's not an excuse.
It's literally hard to reach his opponent's head. It's like it's an excuse.
Dude,
it's an excuse.
Shit. Islam is level changing.
Oh my god, how is it a factor but not an excuse? That doesn't make any sense.
Dude, it's
it matters. It matters in the striking.
But I'm just saying, in general, Islam's striking is better than Volkanovski's striking.
Islam's striking in general is better than you think. So
yes.
So no, I would disagree with that.
Okay, well, then we're at an impasse. But I think Islam still has better skills on the ground, and I think
Islam does have better skills on the ground.
I don't think his footwork is as good, and
so okay. First of all, we brushed over the resume question entirely. Who has the better resume? Which is, in my opinion, the primary factor in determining pound for pound. I feel like we're skipping over the most important part.
Than Volk in pound for pound right now. I think Islam has better skills than Volkanovski does, and I think his resume is slightly worse, but the skills make up for it. That's why. Like, can you disagree?
No, I don't
Okay,
think the
so then
skills
what do
make
you
up for the
disagree
gap
with?
in resume. I don't think the skills make up for the gap in resume. The skills are pretty
Okay,
close,
then
I
let's
would say.
talk about resume.
But the resume for Volkanovski is just like miles better than Islam's.
Dude,
That's my opinion.
I disagree with that.
He has 2 good wins. This is insane. He has 2 good wins on his resume. Islam does.
I mean,
Every win starting from Chad Mendes is a quality win for Volkanovski,
dude, you
which
can't say
amounts to
that
like.
Islam has 2 good wins and then include Chad Mendes in Volkanovski's good
Why
wins.
not? Chad Mendes at the time was a
Well,
great
then you also
fighter.
have to
This is
factor in all of the
no, I
ranked fighters that
disagree.
Islam fought.
I don't think they are at the same level. I really
You don't
don't.
think that Arman Tsarukyan is
Bobby
better than Chad
Green, I
Mendes?
don't. Bobby Green, fine. I'll count Armand Tsarukyan and give you 3 quality wins for
Dan
Islam. I'll
Hooker,
do that.
Thiago Moises?
No, no, I don't count Dan Hooker. I really fucking don't. He had a competitive
Right,
fight
okay.
against like Nazareth Hapragamas and hasn't won a fight since. Bobby Green, I
Well,
don't
I
count
mean,
it. Like
he's
I just
won a
don't
fight
count it.
since, but all right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. So you're saying that anyone since Chad Mendes has been a good win for Volk. Wait a second, what?
Yes.
Where is Chad Mendes on here? Oh, here he is.
19-1.
So in 2018, he fought Darren Elkins. Then in 2018,
I'm not counting Darren Elkins. I'm not even counting Darren
I'm
Elkins.
I'm just giving.
Even though at the time it was probably good enough, but whatever. I'm not counting him.
I'm just giving context. Then he fought Chad Mendes. Sure. Okay, I'll give you Chad Mendes as a good win.
Sure.
In 2018, when did he retire?
Jose Aldo counts as like 3 good wins. Like Jose Aldo counts twice, in my opinion. But whatever. Keep going.
So Chad Mendes retired from the sport in his last fight was in 2018. So Alex Volkanovski literally retired Chad Mendes, and before that he was on like, I guess. So Chad Mendes fought Conor McGregor. I would say that was his peak, right? Probably, because he fought for the interim belt, right, against Conor.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
And then he lost to Frankie Edgar, won against Miles Jury, and then lost to Volk. So we can just say like in his prime / out of his prime for Chad Mendes there. Jose Aldo,
which is like an amazing win, dude. Like let's stop there and just acknowledge that counts as 2 good wins, basically.
I mean, dude, the question is this: how much do you like?
Like I don't even know how this is a question, dude. The resume is so much better than Islam's. Like,
okay, but dude, let me ask you this: how much do you value Jose Aldo, a win over Jose Aldo at bantamweight? Like, do you think a win over Jose Aldo?
Wait, why is that? This is at featherweight.
I know, but I'm asking you do you think that Jose Aldo at bantamweight is a different version of what he was at featherweight?
I mean, no, he fought the same way. He's just older and having to cut more weight. So the cardio, I would say the cardio issues are probably enhanced at bantamweight because that was his primary issue.
Right.
I mean, definitely weighted lower.
So like a better win then, right?
Definitely a better win. Dude, you have to realize. So at this time, Jose Aldo was not necessarily. So at this time, Jose Aldo was considered
past his prime.
Yeah, sure. Like his best featherweight run was behind him, sure, but clearly had plenty of fight in him. Like he wasn't fighting like an old guy.
I know, but I'm just saying
he had plenty of good fights after this.
I'd say that's the top 5 win.
What do you mean top 5 win? What does that mean?
That's like a win over a top 5 guy, not a pound for pound great guy.
No, I disagree. Like he was past his best moment. He was past his best run, sure, because he was dethroned by Max Holloway. But like he was considered a huge danger at the time, considered the featherweight GOAT. I mean, we still talk about him as the featherweight GOAT.
I guess you could say
and he had plenty of fights after him where he performed very well. It's like I consider that version of Jose Aldo very, very strong. Just because Max Holloway beat him.
Dude, I would consider it comparable to like a win over Justin Gaethje. Like if Fiziev beat Justin Gaethje right now.
I don't even... No, dude. Are you kidding me? Because Jose Aldo had basically just finished his featherweight run after losing to Max Holloway. Like he was very close after his featherweight run. Like
the question is though, like you're looking at Jose Aldo as the GOAT here, right? But then you're
as
looking at
as
Jose
one of as
Aldo.
like on definitely like one of the featherweight goats. Like him, Max Holloway, and Volkanovski are all very close. Which like we haven't even gotten to 3 wins over Max Holloway, who was then after Jose Aldo considered the new featherweight goat for a while because of
Right.
his run. And then he beat him 3 times. Like these levels of wins are crazy, and I absolutely will not let you condense 3 wins over Holloway into 1 win. That is stupid as hell because
Dude,
the
you said
Holloway is a very
yourself you
high
have to
level
value
opponent.
the quality of the wins though. Like you literally said that.
Sure,
So like
sure.
you
I
can't.
don't. Sure, I'll give you the sec. I'll give you the second fight with Max Holloway. I'll rate that a little lower. But the third
I
fight
mean,
is
okay,
like
but you also
a
have to say like
fucking ass whooping.
the first and second fight were comparable, even though I think that Max probably did
The
better in the
first fight was
second. I
better
don't
than the
know.
second fight.
But you
I
can't
would say
just
first
treat
fight
three
was
wins
like
over Max Holloway as 3 versions of the third fight.
I'm not doing that.
Okay, okay.
I'm not doing that. I'm just saying it's not the same as 1 win over Max Holloway, which is what I felt like you were trying to do earlier.
I mean, yeah, the Jose Aldo and Chad Mendez wins are pretty good, and then Max Holloway. The thing is, like
Like okay, fine, and we can even count out. I'm willing to count out Korean Zombie as a good win.
I just
Like
think
I'll
like the
X that
Korean
out.
Zombie and Brian
X
Ortega.
that out.
Like
No,
Brian
Brian
Ortega is
Ortega still.
good, but Brian
Brian Ortega is
Ortega
pretty good.
is comparable to like some of the guys that Islam's fought. Like he's probably
Mm,
better than like
I, he's like
I
a
don't
Drew
know.
Dober-ish, a little bit better than Drew
Yeah,
Dober's
a little
level,
bit
in my
better than
opinion.
Drew Dober.
I mean, I don't know. Drew Dober's not even ranked at lightweight right now, and Brian Ortega has been
I
top
think
5 for a
he's
long. I would say Brian Ortega is a little bit better than
dude.
Drew
Blaze
Dober, at
Bradley.
least.
I'm literally reading the context of the rank of their resume right now and looking at the rankings of their opponents when they were beaten. Like,
I,
how can
I,
you
I
say
do
I have
think
no context when I'm literally looking at the context? God damn it! Like you can criticize me, but give me valid criticism.
okay, but dude, I do think the point about like you were saying, oh, like weight bullying would be factored into pound for pound the same way like Volkanovski moving up would be. Like, I think that's kind of a false equivalency. I understand they both weighed in at 155 at fight week, but we know that at least let's just categorize people by their natural weight classes, I guess. Like Volkanovski's natural weight class is clearly 145. He's like a pretty small 145er by
Dude,
frame.
like I don't know. I don't
And
know
like
how you can make that argument though. Like it's not even like Izzy can make that
I don't
argument that oh
I don't
Jan
even know,
Blachowicz
man.
weighed so much more than me. I just didn't even cut weight. Is it like Volkanovski clearly cut weight? He was probably like 10 to 15 pounds lighter than
He did
Islam.
cut weight. He did cut weight. I'm sure he did. He doesn't walk around that way. He bulked and then he
Like
doesn't
I
like
like
even at featherweight
I
he
don't
doesn't
even
walk around that
I
way.
don't
Yeah.
understand this argument. He's a natural featherweight. We see guys with shorter frames all the time fighting like above their weight
Dude,
classes.
he's 5'6". I swear to God, there's not a single 5'6" like lightweighter at the moment. This is insane. This is a false equivalency. Once again, I know they both cut weight. It's not the same thing as like being a weight bully for your division. Islam cut
Dude,
way
he
more
is.
weight
It really
at
is.
a division he's actually built for. But okay, regardless, dude, whatever. I'm not even gonna get into this because my point is basically just that pound for
I mean,
pound
dude, the thing is
is
you're
more
like
or less a
taking
resume contest, and Volkanovski, even with this loss, has a much better resume. Whatever. That's like I don't even know why I'm
dude, I
engaging
still
with
don't
you with
think
all
it's
these
like
other arguments
I think it's
because like
I
this all that
agree it's
matters.
better. I just don't think that it's like so much better that it deserves it for him to be ranked
I
higher
don't
than
I
it.
don't know how we just went through like a solid 6 quality wins for Volkanovski, and Islam at most has 3. And we're being
Yeah.
way more generous with Islam. Like you're equating Drew Dober and Brian Ortega.
I mean,
Like
dude,
this is
come on, come on. Drew Dober and Brian Ortega, that's not even crazy, dude.
it kind of
Like
is.
Brian
Dude, Brian
Ortega's
Ortega
top
has been
10.
top 5.
Brian Ortega is not top 5, he's top 10.
What do you mean? Brian Ortega?
He just
Right
lost to
now he's
Yair
number 3.
Rodriguez.
I can't even remember the last time he's been out of the top 5.
I mean, he beat Korean Zombie and then got a title shot off of it. Like, who has
Sure,
he
but
really
that
beaten
entire
again?
time he was out. Dude, who was Drew Dober beaten? Like,
Yeah, okay, Grant. Like, I'm not saying that Drew Dober's better than Ortega, but I'm saying like a win
I think
over him is
Ortega is
comparable.
clearly a better win. Like, he beat Frankie Edgar, Cub Swanson, Hinata Moicano. Those are all quality wins at featherweight.
Yeah, okay,
But Ryan
Grant.
Ortega did. Like, this is just a different level. This is a higher level than what Drew Dober is doing right now.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Judober's gonna fight RDA. Like maybe eventually he can get there, but apparently.
I just like, still, dude. The thing I'm having a problem with is like you are undervaluing Islam's win over Volkanovski, and that's like souring your opinion of his resume.
I'm undervaluing Islam's win over
Yeah,
Volkanovski. I mean,
because
I'm
of the weight
counting that
cut.
as one of 3 quality wins that he has.
Yeah, but that win is so much
Even
better
though
than
like
all of the other wins that Volkanovski has.
Islam beating Volkanovski is better than all the wins that Volkanovski has over his opponents.
Every
Like
single
that's
win,
just
it's
not.
not better than all of them combined.
No, but I just don't even think that's true. Like I think Islam beating Volkanovski is way easier than Volkanovski beating Max Holloway, and it's like not even close.
Dude,
Like,
come
dude,
on.
Volkanovski is moving up a weight class. You're just like not even
No,
factoring
but
that in.
exactly.
This is just
You're literally you're just admitting you're undervaluing the win because Volkanovski moved up, saying that Islam should have beat him anyway.
valued less. Yes, Islam should have beat him anyway.
No, but
That's
I
that
don't
should
value like I
that's
don't.
like the
This is what I
default
don't
assumption
understand
when
though,
someone
because
moves up.
but Sammy, this is what I don't understand. We give props to people that change weight classes because it's so hard. But then are we not going to give the same props to like the guys who beat them at that weight class? Like it seems like it.
Yes. Wait a minute. Yes, absolutely. I'm not going to give him the same props because
But
you just
that's what I
said
don't understand
changing weight
because
classes. We give props to people changing weight classes because changing weight classes is hard. I don't give props to the people who didn't change the weight class because they didn't do the thing that we just said is hard. This isn't hard to understand, mate. Come on, this is just isn't this. No, I no.
dude, like you man, I just don't think that you can say Islam should have won this anyway because of his size and
I'm
then
not saying should have
hamper the
won.
win
That's
on
not what
it.
I'm trying to say. It does devalue the win. It makes the win not as impressive. Islam beating Volkanovski is not as impressive as Volkanovski beating Islam. Like, but
I just disagree
it's
there,
not as
man.
impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That should not be the
I
thing.
mean, I
That's
guess in
like
terms of
super
odds,
controversial. What's more impressive, Volkanovski beating Islam or Islam beating Volkanovski?
like I really think they're like
Obviously, Volkanovski
in
beating
terms of
Islam
resume, I
because
think they're
he's the
equally
one with the
impressive.
disadvantaged. How is it equally impressive? Volkanovski is the one coming in with a built-in disadvantage. This is
I
like
just think like
this is a stupid take. This is just like I'm not even going to entertain this take, James. Like the idea that Islam beating Volkanovski is just as impressive as Volkanovski beating Islam. Those two things are equally impressive
in
feats.
terms of like adding to your resume, I think yes.
I don't know. I don't know what to say to you, man. Like that, just no one would agree with you because what's your response to this point? Is Volk is the one with the built-in disadvantage because he's moving up a weight class. Islam is staying at his natural weight class,
I mean, dude, like
fighting a smaller guy. What's
there's
your response to
I
like
mean, there's
why?
an argument that that's not even Islam's natural weight class.
I don't even know what's no. Stop it! Just stop it! Just stop it! That is
Dude, the
that
thing is this.
Islam. That is where Islam has
Alex
fought the
literally
entire
changed
his
his
entire
body
UFC
to fight at
career.
this weight class. So you can't even
What
say
what
that
do you
he's the
mean?
same fighter at featherweight.
He didn't magically become a 155er because he ate chicken burritos on the weekends, dude. Come on, this is
Dude,
fucking. You
I don't know what
can't
to
bulk
say.
up.
Like in
He's
all,
five
dude, I've
six,
listened to all
dude.
of
Okay,
Volkanovski's
I just
interviews. Listen to me. I've listened to all of his interviews. He literally says, "I'm stronger and I'm better than I am before because I'm moving up." Like that's not the featherweight version of Volkanovski.
okay, dude.
And
I
the
get,
difficult
I
part of
get he's
moving up a
stronger.
weight class,
I
listen to
get
me,
he's
Summit.
stronger because he ate some more
I
calories.
actually like
It's not the
disagree with
same.
this at
It's
all
just not
because
the
when
same.
we talk
Dude,
about
Blaze
moving
Bradley,
up,
man, help me out here. This is crazy. This is just a bad take though, James. Like this is really just a bad take.
dude, I still stand behind my take though that Islam's resume plus his skill differential, like, like outweighs Volk's resume plus his skill.
Okay. I mean, I know we've covered it thoroughly.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see how. Like I just don't see how.
I,
Like I
I mean,
honestly just thought
granted,
I thought
I
if
value.
anything I thought this fight proved that their skills are very close are pretty close.
Yes,
Like
their
I don't
skills
think
are
that skill
close.
differential. Okay, their skills are close, but the resume is not close. So how can you say the skill differential makes up for the resume
Dude, like
differential?
I don't know. Maybe it's some of me to value like the wins over Max Holloway less. Like
Like
they're
I'm gonna
still
hold you
very
to that.
good.
You said the skills are close. The resume is not close. The resume is just not close, man.
I would just need. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can see the argument there. It's just like when you have the
This is my
guy.
whole argument from the beginning. We saw a decently competitive fight. Okay, great. Let's the primary factor is still resume.
The thing is,
Resume
dude,
is
I
much better
I
for
guess this
Volk.
is my sticking point.
And even if I'm going to take into account skills a little bit, the skills were competitive.
Dude, this is my sticking
That's
point though.
basically what I came away
I
with
don't
out of
know
that fight.
what Max Holloway's top ranking was, but like the wins
He was
over the
champ.
number 2 and the number 1 pound for pound guy, I value a lot for Islam.
Was Charles Oliveira ranked pound for pound number 2?
I think he was 3
I
or
don't
2.
think so.
I think because Usman was number 1, Volkanovski was number 2, and then Charles was number 3, and then Usman got knocked out. And then maybe Volk moved up to 1. Charles might have gone to 2. I'm not completely sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's complicated. I think pound for pound is a very volatile ranking system where
I just don't think that
like small changes make big differences
I
in
mean,
your
my
ranking.
sticking point in terms of the resume is Volkanovski doesn't have anyone on his resume as good as the people that Islam has on his resumes.
Wait, what did you say? What did you say?
Volkanovski doesn't have anyone as good on his resume as Islam has on his. Like, say what you want about Max Holloway and Jose Aldo, they were not the number 1 and number 2 pound for pound guy in the sport when they lost to Volk.
Max Holloway at the time
Was
considered to be. I don't know. I don't know if he was in pound for. I don't think he was. I don't know
he
what
was
he
one
was
of the
pound for
goats
pound.
of featherweight, but that's
He
different
was
from being
considered the
pound
next.
for pound number 1.
Volkanovski in his career has beaten basically 2 guys on the Mount Rushmore of featherweight.
I know, dude, but
early in his career, like
no, they're
it
good
doesn't even.
wins.
It
But
just
like,
doesn't even
I just don't
compare. It
think
just
that
doesn't even
like
compare to
they're
anything
the same
Islam's done.
quality as Charles
Beating
Oliveira.
people on the pound for pound ranking list is like such a weird way of looking at pound for pound because
Dude, it's not even that.
I
It's
don't
like,
know. It's
okay,
just like a weird
the
way of
thing is
looking at it.
this:
I don't know.
if Volk beat Jose Aldo when Jose, like, let's say Volk snapped Jose Aldo's streak, would you rank that, like, how much higher would you rank that than if he had beaten him after he just lost to Max twice? Like,
I would
what's the
say
difference in rank?
I think it's pretty similar. I really think it's very similar. I think they're basically like that Jose Aldo and the Jose Aldo in his run are very similar fighters.
Oh wait, yeah. So Jose
That's
lost to Connor, won against Frankie, lost to Max twice, and then beat some good guys, and then
because Connor moved back up, and
went
then
on
like
a bit of a losing streak.
yeah, like Max definitely dethroned Jose, which is kind of my point. Like, but Volkanovski beat Max, the guy to dethrone Jose,
Right.
and Max was in his prime. Everything was going for him. He ended Max's run. Volkanovski is the one that ended Max's goated run. That's my whole point.
All right, yeah, like he does have a better resume. I'll agree with you, but
significantly, like way better. That's my point. I think it's like significantly better.
I mean, it's the second and the third fight over Max for me that pushes it over, and then obviously like the ranked wins are better too, but it's really just those two because, and dude, I don't know how to judge that because it's like on the one hand you're beating the same guy a second and a third time. And my usual philosophy is if you beat a guy and then you do an immediate rematch, of course you're going to win. But on the other hand, Max Holloway had like a second and a third chance to try to evolve his style and figure out a way over Volkanovski. Just me personally, I don't value immediate rematches as highly as like the first fight because it's like we've seen this happen before, but also just every fight you go out there, you're risking a lot. And then the other thing that I think I don't know, I might be wrong on, but I really do value just like snapping people's winning streaks. I don't know if that's true or not. Like, I think over time you can make up for it by like beating guys that like just beating good guys. But just like huge winning streaks.
Once again, like I just think like we really disagree on some basics. Like the fact that you think, once again, the fact that you think Islam beating Volk is just as impressive a feat as the other way around, Volk beating Islam, that that part is really
Okay,
like
let me ask you this
souring me
though.
on how to even talk to you about this
Hold
because
on, let me
like
ask you this
we're
about
not
that.
even evaluating
Izzy
the way these
Izzy
fights are
versus Jan Blachowicz. Izzy was
impacted.
like a minus 250 or something when that line closed. Would you
Yeah, it's not even
say
about the odds. Yeah, I would still say Izzy beating Jan is more impressive than Jan beating Izzy.
okay, like then
It's not
like
about the odds. Like the odds are just showing how good Izzy is. Like just because the odds are favoriting Izzy, Izzy still has to go up and beat Jan. Like that's just saying that those are just me and the odds agreeing. Wow, Izzy's really good. Like
okay, then I disagree with you on that though, because in my opinion, the difficulty of changing weight
what?
classes, listen, like the difficulty of
Yeah.
changing weight classes is going is like the changing of the weight classes. It's going back and forth constantly. That's the difficulty. Like if John Jones
No.
beats Cyril Gahn, I'm not going to be like, oh well, he's changing weight classes, so Cyril Gahn should have won anyway. Like that's not
Why?
like
No,
I'm not.
changing weight classes takes work. Even the first time you change weight classes, it takes work,
No, but
and
the
it's
difficulty
difficult.
is having the strength of schedule to move back down and like
Well, that's
do
extra
that over
difficult.
and
I
over.
agree that's extra difficult, but
I
it doesn't
don't
mean the
give
initial
anyone
changing
credit.
of weight class isn't difficult. Like the initial changing is still very
Dude,
difficult.
I just don't give
You have to
anyone credit.
adapt.
Like what Ariel said, at least Izzy dared to be great. Like on when the conversation was Izzy, Usman, and Volk for pound top three, Ariel kept saying, "Oh, I give him credit for daring to be great." That sounds like what you're trying to do too. At least I give him
No,
credit
it's
because if he
not.
beat Jan,
It's
that would have been more
absolutely not.
impressive.
Oh my god.
Okay, you're
Okay.
not giving him
Okay. Okay.
credit, but like you are adding
No, what
into
I'm
the win.
doing is what I'm no no, what I'm doing is based on that. Islam's win is less impressive. It doesn't make Volk's loss like automatically score him brownie points. It makes Islam's win over Volkanovski less impressive because he's the one who stayed at his weight class that he fights at every time. We're fighting against a smaller guy who had to move up.
See, yeah, dude,
I
I just
just like
can't agree
okay.
with that
I don't know.
notion that anyone changing weight
This is such
classes
a
has an
simple notion though.
automatic
Like
like has an automatic like built-in excuse almost. Like, oh, I was just smaller than him. If you were smaller, then why did the fuck did you like take the fight
I
in the
mean,
first
sure, you
place?
can call it an excuse if you want to call it an excuse. It's a disadvantage. It's obviously a disadvantage when you're fighting someone. Even in kickboxing, there are weight classes. Like even the striking, like it's a
I know, dude,
disadvantage.
but like I just don't see how you can say the guy was shorter than him and he had shorter arms, so that means that the win over him is less impressive.
I don't see how you can say why there would be weight classes in kickboxing. That's basically what you're saying. You think all kickboxing should be open weight functionally?
I don't think they should be open weight, but like you choose what weight
Why?
class you
Why?
want to
You're
weigh in
saying
at.
short. Why? You're saying shorter
Well,
arms,
you have to
shorter
like
height. None of
factor in
that
muscle
matters.
too, like how strong you are in the clinch and stuff. Well, I don't know if you can clinch in
This is what
kickboxing,
is happening? Okay, whatever. I'm gonna go. That good talking, but this is
dude. I
just like
just
this
like
is just crazy land. This is
you're
crazy land,
saying
right?
that
This is crazy
oh
land right here.
Islam beat him and he's a weight class higher, but they
Is
literally signed
Bradley
up for
still
the
here?
same weight
Blaze
class.
Bradley? Just tell me I'm not
Hold
going
on, let
crazy
me.
here, dude.
Bradley left. Let me read what he actually said. Bro, Justin isn't close to Aldo. Okay, fair enough. Like I don't
Dude,
think
if you,
that was a
I
good
want you to
comparison
clip this
anyway.
part out and post it.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Justin was close to Aldo.
You should do
Aldo
it
was
though.
like
To be honest,
retarded.
if
I want to
Volk had
actually see it.
Islam's weight, he'd flog him. I mean, dude, show me the weights that they were walking into this fight. I actually want to see that.
I don't think they did like official weigh-ins though before the cage,
They
but you can
usually do.
clearly see like
Usually
one.
it leaks like
No,
usually the weight
only
gets out
only in
what they weighed at
California, dude.
fight night.
I think they only do that in like some places. Maybe in
True.
Vegas.
But like it could still leak. Vol- Volkanovski. What
Yeah,
did
I don't know.
Volkanovski?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think like you're way off on this. I really do. Well,
I
whatever.
mean, just
I
because of
laid out everything
resume?
I had said. Hmm?
You just think the resume like just blows Islam's out of the water.
Yeah, that and then especially the part that
I
yes,
mean,
and I think that's the
the thing
primary
that I
factor in
disagree
pound
on
for
that
pound.
is like the weight thing. That's the thing. Like I think you're very undervaluing a win over. You're like writing off the win over Volkanovski. That's
I'm not
actually what you're
writing it
doing.
off. I'm not
No,
writing it
dude, you
off,
are.
dude.
Come on, you
I'm
are.
not. I think it was a great win, but that's just how good Volk is. Like, yeah, it's a great win.
But if it's such a good win, then like shouldn't that like
But it
it
doesn't
puts the
make
resume in
no,
conversation?
no, but it doesn't make Islam's resume close to Volkanovski's
No,
resume.
like it does.
That's what I'm saying. It's a great win, but
It does.
Volkanovski's resume is
It's a great win and it
is
puts it close.
amazing. It's like goaded, dude. Volk's resume is
Come on,
goaded.
dude. No, listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. Islam just beat the number 2 and the number 1 guy in succession. That's
Okay,
goaded.
what are you
That's literally
talking about?
goaded.
Number one, two, and number one.
Pound for
You're saying
pound.
they okay? Oliveira wasn't number 2 pound for pound. I'm almost sure of this. But second of
I
all,
mean, I
that's
don't know
like
how
a
he figures
stupid
that.
way of evaluating it. Like it's
No,
2
I
wins.
don't think it's a stupid way
Oh my
because
god!
the
Pound
resume
for
came
pound.
into effect there,
This is
dude.
wait. Stop it. This is what. So like, if Demetrius Johnson, flyweight champion, was pound for pound number 1,
Yeah.
and the heavyweight guy beat him, would you say, "Wow, the heavyweight guy beat a pound for pound number 1"? No, because that's literally pound for pound is
I mean, dude, are we
it's
talking about
like that
circus
doesn't
fights? Like,
make
what is this hypothetical that would never happen?
uh no, my point is just that beating on the guy
If
on the
if
pound for
Demetrius Johnson
pound
fought
list
Henry Cejudo
isn't
at
in and of
bantamweight,
itself
I'd rank that
impressive.
really high.
Because of course we have to talk about the fucking difference in weight.
Dude, that's literally a hypothetical that would never come into place. Like, what are we talking about? If Demetrius
But
Johnson,
it's
let's talk about
proving
a
my point.
hypothetical that
It's
actually
proving my
happened.
point that just because Volk was pound for pound number 1 doesn't mean that Islam's win over Volk gets him close to what Volk has done. Just the
No,
sheer
come
number
on.
of
You
quality
cannot say
wins
that it's
isn't
not
even
close.
close.
You cannot say that it's not close.
I can say that I am saying that, but whatever, dude. Whatever. I've honestly just like gone through the resumes thoroughly with you. Like the resumes just aren't close. I don't know.
I
Like
really think the sticking point is that you're like you're not
you're
valuing a win
literally
over Alex as much as me.
you're equating a Volk win over Volk with like 5 quality wins from Volk's resume to then draw somewhat equivalency. Like that's the problem. Yeah, it's a good win. It doesn't make his resume as close enough to Alex's.
He said, "I want to be 78 kilograms. What is that in pounds? 171 pounds. So like 15 pounds higher, 15, 16 pounds.
Sure.
Let's see. What does Islam weigh at fight? What does Islam usually weigh at fight night?
I don't know.
I don't know, dude, but like I don't think it's 190 pounds. That'd be insane.
It wouldn't be that insane, honestly. Pretty sure I've heard Dustin Poirier does that.
Dude, 190?
I don't know if it was like in cage though, or it's like in like before a camp, like that kind of thing. Walking around outside of camp, you know.
And this is so annoying when I just look up the weight. It says like 154.
I mean, it's not going to be less than 180, dude. There's no chance.
I know, but like I just don't think that it's going to be a 20-pound difference.
I don't know.
And dude, the other thing is like Alex Volkanovski is like I just he changed his body. Like he's doing the John Jones thing. Like we can't just say, oh, Cyril Gane
He didn't change his body to become a
impressive.
155.
Like a win over
He
John
didn't.
Jones isn't
He
impressive.
didn't change his body to become a 155.
I mean, dude, are you gonna say that Cyril Gane's win over John Jones isn't impressive because John Jones is moving up?
I mean, he's been out of the sport for 3 years, man. Like it's a little bit.
So
I don't know.
Change it, but it's not his natural weight class, dude. Like, what are we doing here? Like, is it his?
Yeah, it's not his natural weight class, but what's natural also could change with time. Like 3 years is a way different thing, right?
Right. Yeah, I agree. So okay, I just don't think it's like, oh, he weighed in at featherweight and he fought Islam at.
That's not what you're answering, strawman. Now, come on. Like, I'm just not gonna engage with this shit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's call it. Anyway, Oh, Froggy piped in. Islam striking was good. It can only improve over the years. Islam striking was good, Froggy. I agree.
Yeah,
And Volkanovski's grappling was good. I want to see him be more aggressive in grappling.
yeah.
The